Brilliant. Okay, so what are your thoughts on nurses receiving a 10,000 bursary, not based on family income, but veterinary nurses not getting the same treatment, even though there is placements involved for them as well?
Mm. Um, well, I do think it's unfair, because obviously we do the same job basically, but for different, obviously, mammals, basically. So obviously nurses are doing with humans and vet nurses are doing things with animals, and everybody cares for both just as equal, you know. And obviously people see their pets as their own children most of the time and things. And as you say, we're all on the same placement, we do the same things, and we have to live our lives just as much as nurses do. So obviously we respect each other just as much. So I don't see why there's different treatment in that respect. Just because obviously trying to work at the same time, when I was a student, I was working 5 days at placement, then I was working one day at the weekend at a part-time job, and then the other day of the weekend at another job that was veterinary related, but not my placement at all, and then going back to placement Monday to Friday. Like there was no social time. On the train home, I was doing all of my placement work and then getting home and seeing my flatmates for about an hour before I had to go into my room and then finish doing my things. So money was a very difficult situation. And having a bursary would have been like so much easier on life, because I did have points where I had like mental breakdowns about money, because it was just stressing me out. I was getting to the age that I was like, I should be able to manage my money, but I can't due to our placements and not having that bursary, not having that support there.
So, do you think that you kind of touched on your experiences? So, do you believe that if a bursary was available to students now, it would have a significant impact on their studies and take the stress off?
Yeah, 100%, because I stressed a lot about money, but then I had stress of my exams, I had stress of my placement, and then so in my second year of uni, I had a complete breakdown. I failed about five of my exams because I had so much stress with uni as well as money, and I was trying to stay in Edinburgh to be able to commute easier, and I was sharing to try and make it cheaper. We were in a really cheap flat, and it wasn't exactly the best flat, just due to trying to control money. But due to that, because I failed my exams, then in the summer we have, like, people have summer holidays. We don't get summer holidays. We have an additional placement. So I had to do all of my resits on top of more placement, further exams, and then further reports and etc. So it was more work in the end. Luckily, I was in a better headspace that I managed it, but it did all come down to, I remember being on the phone crying to my mum, being like, obviously I borrowed money from her and I don't like borrow money, and I try to be independent, and yeah, it broke me because I just hated it. And she was like, yeah, but we're there to support. And then you also think, I'm lucky I have you guys behind me, because there's people out there who don't. There's people who there that don't have good, obviously, communication with their parents, and they can't support them, etc. And yeah, or there's people who have parents who are, yeah, they're well off, but they don't have that good communication between, mother and child or whatever. So say that relationship's broken down, but yeah, everything relies on their parents' income, but they actually can't get any support from them. So then how does that work out? Then they're left trying to get this degree to help their future, but then all of this placement and everything, they don't have the time to actually work. Then they're burnt out, and then their mental health just gets destroyed. And then trying to come back from that is so difficult. So yeah, there's so many reasons.
And I actually live with a few veterinary nurse students myself, and they said to me this morning that there has been an announcement that you can get a £250 bursary, but that is based on family income. So, do you think something should be done? Do you believe that veterinary nurses should be considered to receive a bursary just out of fairness, because it's the same job as nurses do, and both roles are important, but just out of fairness?
Oh, absolutely. And as I said, yeah, I'm lucky my parents are really supportive and they're happy to help where they could. But as I said, a lot of people's relationship with their parents don't work out, or something happens that they fall out or anything. That's them lost that completely. And then that's where things completely go wrong because they can't afford where they stay. But then they couldn't go back to their parents if that relationship's broken. And so they have that bursary that at least gives them that support to get back on track and be able to manage their own life. Because yeah, not everybody's family is, like a pile of angels, you know what I mean? So yeah, I 100%, I don't think it should matter on the income of the parents. I know that some people look at it, and I can understand people looking at it like, oh yeah, but they can help them, etc. But I'm like, what's the difference with helping everybody? Like, as long as they're using that for their education and not being stupid with it. And I know you can't control that all the time, but you would assume someone who's committed to come in to be a vet nurse, they're committed to their placement, the same as nurses are. Once you get really committed, you're not going to lose that. And it is a job that, and it's a uni degree that you can't lose any commitment at any point because you are constantly working at these placements. So yeah, 100%. I think that they should get it no matter what.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Chelsea. That's all my questions. I'm just going to start recording.